We said good evening and praise the Lord to everyone. Thank you for taking time out to spend some time with us as we spend some time with Jesus. Welcome to Restoration and Dominion Ministries. Thank you so much for joining us in our rehab session. Please take this few moments with me to help us change the environment, the atmosphere here for this rehab session. We're going to recite our declaration, recite or read, whatever works for you. We're going to recite our declaration on the count of three. One, two, three. We decree and declare to speak life and not death. We will build and not condemn, help and not hinder. This atmosphere will be charged with faith and not fear. We are the head and not the tail. We are above only and not beneath. In all things we are more than conquerors through him who loved us. This domain is for restoration and dominion. Thank you so much for helping us set the atmosphere here and helping us with our declaration, as is a custom for this ministry to do. We are on our last week of teamwork, the team called We. I truly enjoyed teaching this lesson and getting input and sharing with everyone and people sharing with me. So once again, we thank those who join us through Facebook Live and YouTube. We are on our last week. And this week, what we're going to do is we're going to share some ways that these different personality traits complement other personality traits, and we're going to review some information that we've shared over the last 5 lessons. So we will not be long, give us about 25 to 30 minutes, so we'll be out your way. Last week, we talked about the different personality traits, and we'll review them real quick, and then we will share how they complement one another. Last week, we talked about the workhorse, the dreamer, the artist, the cheerleader, general, mediator, medic, and number cruncher. Those are different personality traits that's very necessary and needed for the team. Of course, there's many others based on who study, who information you go to get, but these are the ones we're using. And like we told you that, and we kept reminding everybody during this whole lesson, this whole series, that everyone is important to the team. Everybody has a job to do. Everybody is necessary. So what we're going to do tonight is review some information from the past, but we're going to touch on how these different personalities help different personalities. So let's jump right in. We talked about the artist. Remember, the artist is the one that image is everything for the visual minded artist. Some people are the artists. They got the artist personality trait. Now listen to this. When it comes to the artist is giving the cheerleaders something truly beautiful to praise and promote. That's what the artists do for the cheerleaders. But what the artists also do for the dreamers, this is what the artists do for the dreamers, keeping the dreamers inspired, focusing on beauty instead of barriers. That's one thing that we should always love about those people that has the artist personality trait. They are giving the cheerleaders something truly beautiful to praise. They are visual. They look at image. They look at how it's presented. But they are keeping the cheerleaders and dreamers excited. So once again, as we said before, and I'm a firm believer, that you do not throw people to the side and don't say they can't be part of the team and things of that nature, because whatever their personality trait is, it can help or complement somebody on the team. Now, let me go this way. Like I said, I'm a very vertically challenged. So growing up, when they used to pick teams for basketball, people will always pick the tall people, the people that can play. You might get picked last, or you might not get picked at all. You have to worry about the next game. But this is the thing we want to share with you. What RDMI is promoting is that make sure that you understand that whatever personality you have, whatever skills and gifts and talents you have, will complement somebody else on the team. It will help. So that's what the artists do when it comes to the cheerleader and the dreamer. Now listen to this. Listen to what the cheerleader does. How the cheerleader helps the mediator. The cheerleader is offering the mediators moral support as they sort out the toughest conflict. See, the cheerleader is going to say, hey, we can do it. The cheerleader is going to say, hey, you got this, sis. You got this, bro. Yay, you can do this. Yes, sometimes they might be cheering you and you might not want to hear it. But that's their personality. They're always going to find something to cheer about, something to celebrate, something to rally about. So even though there's times you don't want to hear the cheerleader, they still need to do their job. So that's why there's more than one person in, but that's how they help the mediator, offering the mediators more support as they sort out the toughest conflicts. You got to understand when you're on a team and you have jobs, roles, and responsibility, you really don't want somebody in your ear telling you you can't get this done. You're doing a bad job. You want people to be honest, but you want those people to encourage you, want people to support you. Now, the cheerleader also helps the listen to this. The cheerleader is giving underappreciated number crunchers their due recognition. Do you not understand that sometimes the number cruncher becomes the enemy? Because the number cruncher say, our budget really says we can't do this. Our number cruncher said the last time we tried this, we wasted money and didn't really see a return on our investment. So what happens is the cheerleader gives the number cruncher their due recognition. Because the cheerleader say, hey, such and such said we could get it done with this budget and we got it done. Let's give them a hand and things of that nature. Because really times it's just like, let me use this. Not to point out, it's just like when the husband wants to do something and the wife is the one that oversees the finances, and the wife says, we really can't do that. Then the husband get mad because I really want to, or the guys are coming over, but this is something I really want, but we really can't do that. You always got to have somebody that gives you reality, because if you do something that you know you should not do, it could come back in a horrible way. And see, a lot of times when it's the wife or the husband say no when it comes to the money, so people get in their feelings when they can't do what they want to do when they want to do it. So it's the same way with the number cruncher. Most people aren't going to say that, but how often is the accountant on the job always the best person? When somebody wanted to throw a party or want to dip into the petty cash, and no, we can't do that. We don't have that. So the number cruncher needs support, but the cheerleader is there for that. Let me move on. I want to save time. Listen, the general personality trait, the general really helps the medic, because the general, it takes a strong general, a trusting general to call the medic in and hold and hand over the reins. Because what you have to understand is the medic is going to come. He's going to come and try to smooth out the bumps in the road. But when the medic comes to smooth out the bumps in the road, guess what's going to happen? The general is going to hear the truth about how this happened. How many have ever gone to the doctor and did not like the report you had? Let's do something very simple. Let's do something we can relate to. When the doctor says or tells you that at the best weight you're supposed to, you know you really don't want to hear that, but you know it's coming. It's the same way. The general really don't want to hear when the medic says, well, this could have been avoided if you would have done this and that. So it takes a strong general to turn that over to the medic, because the medic is going to tell you how to prevent this wound, this problem, this trouble in the future. See, this is what the doctor told me, and it smacked me right in the face. It broke me down when the doctor said, when he said, well, when the last time you went to had an exam or the physical? My answer was very poor. When the last time you did? When the last time that? My answers was poor and irresponsible. He said to me as plain as day, he said, Mr. Jones, if you don't take time for your health, I bet you'll make time for the sick. It humbled me so much, because I'm like, you're right. I'm running around, Lord, oh, Lord, Lord. But I didn't take the time to be concerned about my health. And then when an individual don't take time to be concerned about their health, guess what? I'm going to step on some toes. You're really being selfish, because you should be taking concern about your health. Because if you have family and siblings, what happened? What are they going to do if something happened to you when you could have been a little more responsible with your health? So let me go back. Let me go to this. We want to make sure we hit all of this. The general also helps the workhorse, because the general gives clear direction and critical tasks, which are music to the workhorse ears. Y'all remember what the workhorse is? The workhorse keeps their head down and keep their eyes focused on getting the job done. A workhorse loves clear, direct instruction. The worker bees don't like confusion. They don't like, oh, what do you want me to do? Because I'm here to work. And the longer it takes for the workhorse to get their assignments, what they're supposed to do, the workhorse is about to start kicking and bucking because I'm here to work. So the thing is, you have to understand that's why for a ministry, for a job, for an auxiliary, all these personalities, all of these people are needed, but you got to understand with their personalities how they're going to, like I say, look at the task, look at the things that's going on. Let me move over to the mediator. The mediator, remember, when the team hits a bump in the road, the mediator is there to smooth it out. The mediator helps the medic because the medic relies on the mediator to keep everyone happy doing big changes. Because what you can understand, the mediator is saying, hey, I know we got to make this change. I know we've been doing it this way for a while. I know the last time this happened, last time they gave us the numbers, we fell short. But the mediator said, wait a second, everybody calm down. The mediator saying, hey, come on, everybody be happy. We made it this far. You know what I'm saying? Remember, I said a couple of lessons ago, when you have a conflict, trying to resolve a conflict, that's a conflict. It's a problem when we're trying to fix a problem and we wind up fighting over fixing a problem. That's why you need a mediator. Somebody said, hey, y'all calm down, y'all sit down. Do y'all ever remember when y'all was in school and everybody would get rowdy and everybody in the class is all loud and you had the teacher yell and scream and bring everybody down because nobody's listening and you have to have mediators. Somebody say, hey, let's calm down. Let's do that. The mediator also helps the workhorse. Listen, the mediator helps the workhorse by clearing hurdles for the workhorse to keep going without distraction. So if you're that person with that personality that you want to be the mediator, you want to help people calm down, bring people down, it's going to help. This is my thing, and I'm saying this again. I refuse to believe that there is this for somebody in the body of Christ. I don't care if you have to stand on the door every day and greet people, and if you're an usher for 40 years, I'm not knocking that you usher for 40 years. But if that's what you're good at, that's what the Lord gave you, allow them to work. Allow them to do this stuff. Because you have to understand, some people, their personality traits, strongest arena might be a dream. But there's other traits that's there. But you have to understand, let people work. Let them be who the Lord created them to be, because they're going to be a blessing and complement somebody else. So listen, let me say that again. The mediator is clearing hurdles for the workhorse to keep the workhorse going without distraction. You have to understand. Have you ever noticed? You listen to it says the workhorse. You notice horses have blinds on when they race to keep them focused. They're not distracted. The one thing you don't want is a workhorse to be distracted. Because they're the one that's the backbone getting the work done, and now they all in the walls. They all having conversations. They all like, well, I don't want to work. But if your workhorse ain't working, now you go over to the artist and say, hey, can you get this done? The artist looking at you, I'm not finished with my idea. I'm not finished with what. So you got to keep people energized. You got to keep people motivated with their personality. Let me move on to this. Listen to this. Listen to this. The medic. The medic helps out the mediator and the number cruncher, because the medic tells the mediator solving big problems that cause disagreements the mediator would have to deal with. See, the medic says, okay. The medic says, okay. Sister Roundabout, let's do it that way. She's upset at Sister Soldier because Sister Soldier didn't speak to her after service. So the medic would say, okay, well, do we know why she didn't speak? Because this people don't know why people do stuff and they mad because such and such didn't do. But you didn't know Sister Soldier might have just got a text saying that she got to rush out of service because the grandbaby had to be rushed to the hospital. Which to jump to, well, they don't like me. I think they're mad because my purse was. Let's find out the end of the conversation before we put our mouth on it. But see, that's where the medic comes in, because the medic tells the mediator, hey, we might have to fix a problem between Sister Roundabout And Sister Soda's, it just might have been a misunderstanding. Do you not know the biggest space between two people is the space of misunderstanding? And the truth of the matter, yes, maybe Sister Roundabout don't like Sister Soldier. Maybe not. But still, the medic wants to what? Make sure we fix that, band that up. Listen to this. The medic also helps the number cruncher. See, because when that number cruncher gets to explaining the benefits of the big change, can help the medic rally support. See, the number cruncher, this is the thing, the number cruncher is going to give some information that people ain't going to want to hear. Have you ever been to the point where you had to have a reality check? Because I might have to not spend as much as I want to spend. Or you might come to reality is that I might have to go to bed a little sooner because I'm always, when you get that reality check, and when the number cruncher gives that reality check, is like, hey, you're not being too disciplined. The medic is there to help them rally the support to help them say, hey, this is how we can fix it. So you have to understand that in your task, on your personality, everybody, I'm not saying dislike you, but your personality is supposed to complement. And sometimes when you go to compliment, other people will feel like it's a threat. I don't know what I'm doing. You're saying I'm not good. No, I'm here to help you because we're part of a team called we. Let's look at reality. Reality, even if nobody hopefully should, it's just be really dumb in my opinion. If you got a bad player on the field, a bad player on the court that's doing horrible, you don't keep them in there the whole game. You might take them out. Maybe they might have some personal problems. Maybe they might not be feeling well. But you have to understand is that that's where we are. We're here to help each other out, to make sure our team is doing great. Let me move over to this. We talked about how people help the number cruncher. Let me share how the number cruncher help others. Excuse me. The number cruncher helps the general because the number cruncher can always provide data about the new plan of attack. Understand that. Some people have to understand is that somebody has to share info. Somebody got to share data. Because what we live in now is we live in a time where you can come to a meeting and the info you need to do your job, you can get it. We can Google almost anything. When somebody back in the day used to have a meeting, I get back to you with the pricing. You don't have to get back to people too much for pricing now. You can put it in certain people's websites, you can put it in, find out how things cost. But see, the number cruncher always provide data to the general about the new plan or the new attack. So you have to understand, if it's not wise if a church is only collecting $5,000 a month to have expenses at 10 to 15,000. And the number cruncher is going to speak up and say, hey, we're spending too much money. Well, we're upside down, we're in the red. And guess what happened? The people, please forgive me, the people that are doing or being, how can I say, undisciplined don't want to hear that, but that's the truth. It's the same with personal finance. If every car you get you had after 2 to 3 months, it's something we're doing wrong or you're doing wrong. So we have to understand that's what the number cruncher is for. The number cruncher, only got 2 more to do. The number cruncher also helps the dreamer because the number cruncher gives the dreamer inspiration, comes from the number cruncher about the truth, and the number cruncher, a unique angle of it. So even the dreamer, when the dreamer hears, oh, we get this, we can do that. If we have this, we can do that. So even though the dreamer likes dreaming, but somebody gives the dreamer something to dream about. Because have you ever, when somebody says, let me do it this way, have you ever planned for a trip? You ever said, I want to do this? And when you start seeing the money that you're saving, you get closer to your goal, you get closer to the trip, you're getting excited because why? I'm meeting the numbers, you're seeing the reality, you can see the DR not far away, you can see your feet in the sand, you can see yourself, you're so excited, why? Because the numbers are becoming reality. And your dream is starting to become reality. But somebody had to give you the numbers. Somebody got to tell you it's possible. That's what the number cruncher do. The number cruncher can be your enemy if you don't take the information and apply it properly. So let me move on. We got 2 more we want to do and we want to review. I told you I would not be long. I got 10 minutes I'm going to try my best to finish in 10 minutes. The workhorse. We told how people help the workhorse, but this is how the workhorse helps these two people. The workhorse helps the general, delivering results on time and all the time. What more could a general want? Have you ever noticed, no matter if you are the one with the personality trait, how even though when you're hurt, when you're wounded, you disagree, that you still try your best to deliver the results on time and be consistent? That's why people love the workhorse personality. Because even though they disagree, even though they're frustrated and mad, my job is to get it done. And see, that's where the workhorse helped the general, because even though the general, like, okay, the dreamer over there, head in the clouds, he's still dreaming. The number cruncher is still pushing the buttons. But that good old faithful workhorse, they're going to get it done and get it done on time. And that's the thing. So even if that's your personality as the workhorse, somebody else with the other personality still needs what you do. The workhorse also helps the artist. Remember, the artist is the one that images everything. The vision minded. Look what the workhorse do. Even on the 78th time, the workhorse is still by the artist's side to get things done. The workhorse is saying, man, this is the 80th time we done tried this. But my work. So Mr. Artist, we still, that's amazing. And see, but then you have people like that. They bite through their tongue, they mad, they frustrated, but we still gonna get it done. It was that one commercial, I don't know what, it was an insurance commercial, somebody said, they don't pay me to think, they pay me to work. That's how some people are. It's like, I'm not thinking about it, I just want to get the work done and on to the next task. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with you being a workhorse. There's nothing wrong with you being the medic or the general. The last one we're going to share that helps others is the dreamer. We said how the artist helps the dreamer, the number cruncher helps the dreamer. But the dreamer, listen to this, the dreamer is creative. His creativity begets creativity. And the dreamer challenges the artist to go wild. Because the dreamer is saying, what if we did this? What if we tried this? And the artist is like, man, that'd be really good. That'd be really exciting. Have you ever had those people in your life, they just throw the craziest thing out there and say, well, we should try that. Let's go on the good way. I don't want anybody saying it on the bad way. But that's what the dreamer do. The artist begets creativity. So the dreamer's edging them on. We can do this. That looks good. Let's try that. Things of that nature. And it helps the artist go wild. But guess what the dreamer does to the cheerleader? The dreamer does to the cheerleader. Nothing gets a cheerleader more excited than a big idea. And that's what the dreamer does. Keep feeding the artist and feeding the cheerleader, and the cheerleader is just excited. Go team. Team just hit a brick wall, but the cheerleader's like, go team. That's fine. And we love that. So this is the thing that we're going to say as we get ready to wrap up. The Bible says in 1 Corinthians, the 12th chapter, listen to this, because the body is one and has many members, but all the members of the body, being many, are one body. But by one Spirit we was all baptized into one body, whether Jews or Greek, whether slaves or free. This is the New King James Version. And have all been made to drink into one Spirit. For in fact, the body is not one member, but many. Listen to this. If the foot should say, because I am not the hand, I am not of the body. Let me pause there. This is what's very important. If you're on the team, you have a role. You have a responsibility. Let no one tell you, because you're not this person, you don't have this title, your last name is not this, that you're not important to the team. The devil is a lie. Because this is what I do know. Jesus doesn't make mistakes. And Jesus don't just create you because, I'm going to create Sister Pam because I have nothing else to do. Mm-mm. We don't serve a God like that. If he creates you and allows you into this world, he has purpose for your life. And this is the thing, like I said on Sunday, and I said last week, part of our mission for R.E.H.A.B is to teach everybody to love one another. Is that easy? No. Because some folk, you want to put your hands around their neck. Because this is the 78th time I done told you this is not how I like it. But still, they are part of the body. Listen to this. Because I am not the hand, I am not of the body. No. Is it therefore not of the body? And if the ear should say, because I am not the eye, am I not of the body? Is it therefore not of the body? Could you imagine if everybody was an eye? Ain't nobody listening because we don't have any ears. You have to understand is this is what I really want to encourage us to. I'm not telling you to change your personality because the Lord gave you that personality. He's not interested in changing your personality. He's interested in changing your character. He wired you a certain way. See, what happens is we're trying so much to make people be the same that we don't respect our differences. Now the thing is, when you know sister so and so is straight down the middle, no playing around, she gonna tell it like it is. You got to learn to prepare yourself for when sister so and so comes. And when you have too much of sister so and so, you have to be wise enough to say, "Thank you for inviting me. I'm glad you invited me and Lady Jones. It's about time to go." Because what happened is we have to know our boundaries. We got to know though, because there are some people that might even be on the team. They don't push your buttons. They lean on the buttons. And even when they get finished leaning, they get tired, they stop leaning and then take them buttons down. And you got to be careful because they're still part of the team. So we have to understand that, excuse me. So listen to this. It says, but now God has set the members, each one of them, in the body as it has pleased him. I don't mean to say this, I don't want you to hurt people's feelings, but when people have a problem with where the Lord placed you, the easy response is you need to talk to Jesus about that. Plain and simple. Because see, some people are trying to make you fit into a square and a peg, and that's not your call. That's not your area. So you have to understand that. So understand that. So let me go over a few more things from what we have reviewed, just some reminders. Just some reminders, and we will be done and on our way. Listen, this was a quote that we said probably for the first 3 weeks often. This quote says, "We are not a team because we work together. We are a team because we respect, trust, and care for one another." Hold on to that quote. I said this a few moments ago. Respecting each other can be there when we learn to accept or appreciate the difference. So you have to understand that. Remember some teamwork skills. We need to communicate. Time management. That's a pet peeve of mine. You can't respect my time, you don't respect me. If you're part of a team, respect everybody's time. Team meeting is supposed to start at 9 and you walking through at 9:45. Come on now. If we're going to do this as a team, we got to respect everybody's time and respect everybody. Time is important. As they say, time is money. And then some people know that the meeting can't start because they have the information, they have what you need from the meeting, and them the ones that show up. I'm sorry. So time management is important. Number problem solving is important. One of the things that many people don't do, listening is important when you're part of the team. Critical thinking is important. Just going over a few things. Okay, those are a few things we went over. We also said a couple of weeks ago, said very important as being part of the team. We told everybody, make sure we're doing this review. If you're part of a team, make sure that you learn to establish a pace that sustains and motivates. You have to understand when you're part of a team, I know you could be a superstar, I know your skill level is great, you're talented, but the one thing that you want to do is make sure that the team is together. If you're the general, you're out front, there's no need for the general to be 4 or 5 miles up and the team or the troops are 5 miles back and nobody see what's going on. You got to establish a pace that encourages and motivates everybody. You have to understand. A few other things that we talked about. One of my favorites that we talked about is you got to make sure that you don't lose your voice. Don't shut up. This team member and your skill and your gift don't match theirs. You still have a voice. You're part of the team for a reason. So you have to understand is your voice is important, your opinions, your concerns, your suggestions, your comments. Feedback is done in the business world so they can know their grade or how they are servicing their customers. Same way, ministry, auxiliaries, businesses, family members. If you're tired, I'm sorry to say, if you're tired at the family reunion, there being raisins in the potato salad, somebody fill out a survey. Can we do a survey? Because somebody knows how things are going. See, some people think that it's the event went over well because nobody asked somebody how did it go. And you got to remember when you ask people how did you do, how was it? You better be prepared for the response you get. If you want to make it better, you're going to have to take some feedback, some people's opinion. Last thing we want to hit, well, not last thing, one other thing we're going to hit and we will close is remember I said that when you're on a team, check the chemistry. Are y'all gelling? Are y'all jiving? Is every time the team come together, y'all rolling eyes? Y'all whispering? You're telling one team member, I don't like her. You're telling that team member, a husband of her. Look at the children. They fluffy. What type of chemistry we have when we don't get along? You got to look at the chemistry. That not only go for local assemblies, that go for at work, that goes for family. Because you'd be surprised how many families come together like at the family. Who made that mac and cheese? Or that Aunt Shirley made that. I don't want that. I don't like Aunt Shirley. But you know you like her mac and cheese. But you won't eat it because you don't like Aunt Shirley. Come on now. Those are things we got to watch. We got to work on the chemistry. And as I get ready to close this lesson, we said this last week, one of the things that's very important. When you're part of a team called R.E.H.A.B, don't lose you. Be you. The world will adjust. Be you. Don't let the team change your identity. Because guess what? I don't mean to be mean. I'm not trying to say that. But there's another team that will want you. There's another team. Because if you're a good work on the job and this team on the job don't want you, don't worry. This team be like, hey, we take sister round bottom. I mean, not round bottom, round. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, I messed that up. Please forgive me. But you know what I mean. Roundabout. Thank you. Thank you, Lady Jones. Sister, stop laughing back there. I was trying to remember her name. But that team would say, hey, we'll take her. She's a good worker. She's a good artist. She's a good dreamer. Last thing I want to say, remember this is part of saying, y'all stop laughing at me. I messed up. Last thing you want to, well, I'm going to say, since I messed up and y'all laughing, this is another thing we have said. Remember this as part of the team called R.E.H.A.B. No one is you, and that is your power. Understand that the Lord made you very unique. You are special in the sight of the Lord. Don't let anybody tell you anything else. You are so special. The Lord only created one of you. He took his time and said, I'm only going to do one of this individual. So you have to understand that you might not be everybody's cup of tea, but you sure somebody's iced coffee, somebody's latte. And that's what you have to remember. So please make sure that what you've heard during this series of the team called R.E.H.A.B, that we apply it. If you're part of a team, enjoy it. Don't lose your voice. Work hard. Whatever personality trait, use it for the glory of the Lord and to make the team better. Amen? Amen. Let's put our hands together and give the Lord some hand praise. Thank you so much, those. Please forgive me, Sister Roundbottom. I did not mean to call you out like that. But thank all of those that have taken the time out to join us in this rehab session. Our rehab sessions where we're restoring, equipping, and healing and building. So thank those that have joined us through Facebook and YouTube. If you have not yet, please take time to sow seed into the kingdom of the Lord. You can visit our website, the donate page, have our Cash App, and where you can go to pay by PayPal. So please join us. For a quick announcement, those that are still tuning into us, Facebook Live and YouTube, there will be no rehab session next week. Rehab session next week is canceled, and this Sunday is Palm Sunday. So if you want to visit, we surely love to have you. It is Palm Sunday this Sunday. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you those who join us. Thank you those in person. Can we give the Lord another hand praise, please?